Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we ended up running 2 level 2 Void Insignias and actually getting a level 3 fight out of them. So we're going to run level 3s because I have like 7 of them now. And, you know, why not? I love having to fight a boss that continually heals. It's not that bad. It really isn't. It's actually quite tolerable and quite easy to deal with. Let's check quick. Do I have a level? No, okay. Another reason I'm doing level 3s is I think I can get more higher level enemies, and I want to finish off that, it's not the neural implant, is it? Whatever it is of trauma that gives me all the bleed buffs so that I can... I don't know if I want to do that. As I say, I could even respec and go full bore. Hey, it's the same map again. God, they really like giving me urban ruins.
The very existence of this filth defiles the Imperium. They may be great in numbers, but if we sever the head, the body will die. Kill their leaders and break their will.
Okay, so I had this idea that, you know, I just kind of cut myself off at the end there, getting into the mission. Hear me out. So, what I'm thinking of, potential, is, so I can get all these all these buffs to like warp and stuff. What I could do, and to really leverage the, yeah, it is the neural implant, the bleeding effects, is completely eradicate my heat skills. It's incredibly stupid, but hear me out. Pour into damage over time, pour into range combat, probably some AoE stuff still, physical attacks, and then, actually I don't know, because it depends on if it requires physical skill, because I could go into like biomancy and do a lot of stuff there, and I'm thinking kind of leverage a ton of bleed, but at the same time I think my build is solid as is, because I'm able to get bleeds, I'm able to get burns, and I'm able to kind of capitalize on having both active on enemies, and removing one or the other while it can work is also a very dedicated build, and I think it runs a risk. I don't know. It has potential. I can still rock the max warp heat, don't make me incinerate myself build, so it's still doable. It's just how I want to go about it, because then I could use this staff better. Because if I went single, I have to go single and range targets, or AoE as it stands, because this is single target, everything else is AoE. But I can hopefully use this to set up stuff depending on what I can get. But everything else, it relies so heavily on AoE, I can't just drop it. My DPS would go just through the floor, and that would be just immeasurably stupid for me. Because I'm just thinking it would be an interesting idea, but I don't know how actually effective such a build is. And that's a big thing, is, does the build work? Because I can sit here and pitch the dumbest ideas possible, but if they don't work, then, you know, they don't work. It's like if I took all the bleed bonus stuff, sitting here, oh, this is gonna pan out. No, it is, or not bleed, poison. Like, no, it isn't. I can't inflict poison. If I can't inflict it, there's no valid point to using it. Now, if I could get something that gave me the ability to inflict poison, sure, maybe I can make a case. But I also have to really read what it is, if it's, you know, upon inflicting it, or if it's a poison skill. Because that's also how they kind of get you, is the exact wording. I do appreciate that. I said it before, but Diablo, yeah, they have like all the elements and stuff, but the elements don't do much, and your abilities are very just, oh hey, you gain more life per second, you gain more of, damage stat, you gain more of blah. It's very, very simplified. And on one hand, I can appreciate that, don't overcomplicate things, but at the same time, sometimes complexity is an absolute godsend, because it makes a very boring experience better. I mean, a good example is, look at a lot of FPS games. Especially, like, if you compare COD, Warface, Black Squad, Iron Sight, and something like Hired Ops or Contract Wars. Each game does their own thing, but some really start making things convoluted. And that's an interesting bit to kind of look at and compare, because yeah, that complexity can improve a game or it can absolutely cripple it. And sometimes the additional complexity actually can ruin a game, because it opens up a lot more room for errors and player just abuse of things. I mean, great example of players abusing something you never expect them to: sniper rifles in COD. I remember back when barrel stuffing was a commonly used tactic, because the hipfire was so good and consistent that people were just like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna like run into this guy, hipfire the sniper, and just get the one hit. And people did it. They did it a lot. I also did it, because I'm a scumbag and I don't care. I'm not gonna sit here and hide what I did. I know good and well what I've done. I gotta say, having like no mobility is a problem. Or being trapped mid-animation, like, very tedious things. I hate just overwhelm. It's like, oh, I'm slow now. Why are you slow? You're getting shot. You're not anything else. That, speaking of things that convolute a game, one thing that convoluted this game has to be cover. It's a complete waste of a mechanic and doesn't offer anything of value. And considering this is, a more run-and-gun ARPG, you don't have time to get to cover. Most things will just kill you in cover. So it's such a problem. It's like, yeah, don't bother with it. You are better off running than you are trying to stand and fight. And there's also the fact that if you're going to introduce something as important as cover, you need to be able to generate cover. Or there needs to be what is effectively indestructible cover. Something like this, but it's indestructible this way. Players have stuff they can rely on, no matter the situation. Because that's always a big problem, is ending up in a position where, there isn't cover. Look at Mass Effect. Mass Effect, I mean, they all relied on cover. But, You know, like, you could always find the arenas, because there'd just be an area that is conveniently just all full of, like, waist-high rocks. You're like, oh, I wonder what this is for. My god, this is kind of stupid. I cannot actually run, because I just get suppressed instantly. And I have a time limit, so I'm kind of hoping... Oh, he's healing finally. I feel like my assassin would be struggling really hard on this fight. I can also see a point for making an ability slow. Be cool if these, like, negative warp effects could also hurt anyone else. So they're bad, but they're also kind of good, as opposed to just like, yeah, you're screwed, have fun. Can I ditch the boss for a minute? Because at this point, if I can just whittle down everybody else... it doesn't help those turrets. They just get clobbered instantly. It's almost not worth hacking them. Part of the problem might also be sitting at max warp heat all the time, not having the abilities to really capitalize on it. And those stupid things. Oh hey, another plague ridden. Yeah, those crystals that just slow you instantly are the worst. Most negative effects I don't care about, but those are just absolutely punishing. I mean, when you look at my actual damage from each of these shots, I'm taking like 1,000, 1,500, maybe even 2,000 HP per shot out. It's just... It also hurts a ton to do this, and I'm out of heals, so now I'm in absolute scramble mode. And I'm stupid, so I'm just wiggling here. My only hope is that he can stop to heal himself so I can get a bunch of cheap shots in. No, there's no way this is gonna work. Oh my god, this is actually working. Oh, it's because he's healing. I was about to say, like, there's no way I'm actually just flat out getting decent DPS on this guy right now. That's because I'm not. But I want to see, how did they program him and his collisions? Because if I can cross this narrow bridge and he can't, I would be able to abuse this then. Oh, he's healing. Oh, no, he isn't. Please don't cross. You know, you want to shoot me? Go ahead. Oh, yeah, he can. Cool. Well, the experiment has confirmed things that I really didn't want confirmed. Upside is he is taking damage. Huh. Is that the play? Actually, I need to just run. I have to get any inoculators before I monkey with this fight any further. Trying to rely on these void boons is not a good plan. Hey, that was supposed to give me one. What the hell? Oh, and he healed a lot. Cool. Can I bait him this way? Oh, and he's healing again. You have got to be kidding me. This can't actually be the strategy. The strategy is to get under him and punch him and hit him in the junk as much as possible. That is so dumb, and I find it amusing. You know what? I'll take it. I will take any advantage I can get. As stupid as it may be. Saw a plasma pistol. I'm not too happy about that one. Alright, where's this stupid boss? Since I have to... That's probably part of the problem too, is I'm supposed to be killing these marked targets, and one of them was here.
Success is measured in blood.
Okay, medical supply. Give me an inoculator. One chart. Oh, it's because these... Yeah, I see the problem. One, I think I have... like a restriction on my charges, and also I think mine are really expensive, so they actually cost more to use. Or the game just hates me, I don't know. 3 in a row, not getting any. I mean, it's not that big a deal at this point, everything is very manageable. But man, that was... that was an experience. That's what I'd like to see, a treasure chest. Makes this all worthwhile. I saw purples. Not too... I mean, I can't be mad. I really can't. Not everything can be a high-end thing. I just want a demon-forged weapon I can use. That's all I ask. Give me some gnarly staff that I can just spin around and slap people with. You know, you can take away all the Archaeotech drops and all that. Just give me a Demon Forge thing. The fact you have to boost your morality to one side or the other, and then it's so low of a drop chance. Oh yeah. Half the time I forget, because I'm so used to not having the fifth ability, that I'm not used to actually having to continually check and be like, oh yeah, I can re-up my shield. I mean, it did save me a number of times. And I'd like to do more with the shield, but the problem there stems from I need items that relate to shields. And that's not a guarantee. You know, I can sit here and pull 100 Signums and at best get a, oh, here's 0.8 shield recharge, but I don't think that means anything because I don't have a normal existing shield meter, or if I do, I think I have like 300 points, so it's not going to give me more past that. That said, I wish the Tech Adept would get a shield. I get it, I can probably slap down a turret or something that gives me that, but I don't wanna. I would rather have some, like, beep-boop modulation ability that's like, oh, you give yourself and any nearby constructs shields. I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll use that. I would love that. I'd pop that before I go into any fight. Give my guys a little more survivability, because I have to build shields on them. Which is... it's hit and miss. Some of those guys are kind of crap. But that's what I'm going to play next. If we get an update without the Battle Sister, I'm going to play the Tech Adept after. I was contemplating starting it like today, but I don't know. I'm this far with this guy, I don't want to suddenly switch. Hey, the hourglass. I have no idea what that does. Let's go through the loot. Weird vein. Yeah, I already got it, so you can just consume it. That's not good. That's not good. That heal on critical hit is redundant. Reflect damage is reliant on me taking a ton of damage. Also only 4 stats. Focus, don't care. Chance to get enraged token on kill. It's only 4 though. Want to do better. Surrounded, don't care. Deflector. I mean... see, case can be made. Chance to shock on burning skill hit. Useful. Problem, I lose my shield. Benefit, I get the extra max shield, so I do get something. Problem, I don't even know if I have shield regen, and if I do, it's terrible. So, also I have to wait a level, so kinda terrible at the moment. T-Bolt, don't care. Oh, chance to trigger the inoculator for free. Oh wow, 1.6% chance. Slow your roll there, you might be giving me too much here. See, I would for the extra 2 loot quality, even though that's stupid. But when the green inoculator components, I don't think they're health regen. I think that's the red. So I don't need worse heals. And a 1.6% chance that it's not happening. Just flat out isn't. At least the 6.7% chance to miss for shocked enemies is per attack. So I can at least bank on that a little more. Plasma pistol, no. Inferno pistol, also random vulnerability, hell no. Oh hey, do you want to just randomly get something that may or may not... Okay, as I say that, it's useful. Because the 5% damage bonus for every debuff, it has value. Still not using it. Nope, not doing this free inoculator crap. It's not good. Plus, also, my current one, 36% max HP gained from attributes. That is big, depending on how much I'm getting. But it has the potential to be big. Neural implant, shock. Currently, my bleed setup here is gonna be way better. T-bolt, no. Let's see what we got on the back page. No, I'm not doing T-bolt stuff. Enraged state. It's the same heals, slightly higher capacity. The chance to use an inoculator for free is cool. See, the problem is, everything on my current inoculator I like. Even though it would be nice if I didn't need that +4 inoculator capacity. Because if I could trade that out for the free uses, that'd be primo. What's this? Oh, one hand? Nope. Fear. If I have the other thing that gives fear, it's useful, but that's... guys within 5 meters, and that's very situational. If I was doing a melee build, maybe. But I'm not, so no. I'm not using that, no. That's stupid. Even though it's loot quality, and that's great, it's also 4 stats instead of 5. And damage bonus for AoE psychic powers is great for a guy who uses only AoE psychic powers. Stun guys explode, I don't even think I stun, and sword, so no. Bleeding, nope. And wow, they were all completely negligible. See, this is why I want Demon Forge stuff, because a lot of my Archaeotechs end up being the event ones, and the event ones aren't that good. So I'm left in this weird position where it's like, well, I either have to build T-Bolt, which at this point I would have to throw out so much crap, and I'm relying on that to hopefully save me. And I don't like the idea of trying to do that. Yeah, like, that'd be cool. Oh, Thunderbolt of Authority gives me 300 shield per hit. Well, if I built up all the other crap that gives me, like, bonus bounces, yeah, I could get a ton. But I have to make sure I'm built entirely around that. And like I've said, second they get rid of the T-Bolt of Authority, we have a problem. Because then I have nothing to use that with. Alright, let's do a level 2, because I think they have better chances of, like, captains and stuff, and those are who I need to kill, not the boss. Oh, that's 5 level. That's rough. Especially when you try to add that at like a lower level, be like, hey, I want to bump this difficulty up. The game's like, nah, you have to do your difficulty or higher. It's like, I I don't wanna.
Priority targets identified in teleportarium range. Decoded Vox transmissions and Augur scans indicate high importance and limited combat capabilities. Neutralizing the targets offers significant long-term benefits.
Thinking about it, I think you could do a pure, like, biomancy bleed build, because you would have to rely on, like, the electric ability to shock enemies, so you have that debuff, then you have the bleed, then you could probably just, depending on the damage, maybe do physical damage boosts. Otherwise, there's the one staff that does physical. But you could kind of work around it and do something. And that might be an option. I mean, I've been sitting here dedicating my build exclusively to the idea of max warp heat. And at least max warp heat is not a overall build, it's just kind of my stat line and my perks. Outside of that, I can kind of make it work however I need. I'm just going to try to blitz through this one because there's not going to be as many things to destroy. There's a whole lot of dudes in here. Yeah, I'm really contemplating it, but it would take a ton. I'll sweep everything. I say that, and then I was already moving this way. It's just how I operate. But I mean, I definitely could do a rebuild. My concern is just how many skill tree resets am I gonna have to buy? That's one thing I wish you could do, is either buy a like single tree reset, or just buy a full stat reset. I know the argument can be made, well, some people, it kind of invalidates your build, and it's like, I don't care. If I'm re-speccing, I'm re-speccing. In the end, it's, one way or another, it's, the whole stat line's gonna get tweaked to some degree, or at least my skill line. So let me just do it all at once. If it's a matter of, oh, well, some people don't remember. If you can't remember, take a picture. Seriously, like, we have phones. You can take a picture of things. If you're on a computer, you can screenshot. There's plenty of ways to record what you have. You can even record a video. The PlayStation can record stuff. Utilize the features. God, I just remembered there was that Tiny Tina's, essentially, the Tiny Tina's Wonderland Borderlands game. Really trying to cash in on that whole D&D craze, huh? I know I sound grumpy about it, but I don't know, I like the old days. You know, as much as it sucked getting a ton of shit from people for liking D&D growing up, it's like, I'd rather have that than be heavily commercialized and marketed to, you know? Because then you get people who aren't really in it for the thing, they're in it for the aesthetic. You know how for a while there was kind of like the fake gamer girl thing where they'd wear, like, literally fake lensless glasses as an aesthetic. It's like, look, my nearsightedness is not an aesthetic, lady. This is just bad eyesight. It's little things like that that always bugged me, because it was people who tried to muscle into the communities, and they never cared. They just wanted either attention, or just because the thing is popular at the time. And that was always something that just, it never sat right with me. You know, don't chase a trend. Be yourself. Be the brilliant shining star that you are, or something. Hey, a level up. That's always nice to see. Also, just ate my entire shield. You know what, I'll take it. I'd rather have my shield get eaten than my health bar. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's like, just do your own thing. Don't try to barge into my community just because people perceive it as the new hot thing. In D&D, that got real bad. It's been real bad now. You know, people sit there, oh, Critical Role is great. I always say to people, don't let Critical Role dictate what you think D&D is going to be. The story I always use is, back years ago we were playing at a friend's house. You know, we're doing a little fun one-off campaign. One player decides he wants to seduce a barmaid, because of course you do. It's the first law of RPGs, and like tabletop RPGs, is a player will always try to see how far they can go. What is the limit in the game? You know, they want to see the boundaries. But it was that, and then we ended up going to this house for this old man who's like, oh, I have rats in the basement. And I just sat there, I'm like, do you mean goblins? He's like, no, I mean rats. I'm just like, damn it, I don't want to fight stupid rats. It's things like that. It's more of goofing around. It's not super serious voice acting and costumes. If you want to do the costumes, go for it. But it's really going to suck when you got to reroll your character. And that's another thing, is people want to DM, but they don't know how to DM. Balancing encounters is a nightmare. I hate it. Like, balancing, especially with traps. Traps are the worst. Because you've essentially created something that is, for the most part, extremely niche in who can take care of it. And so it's like, okay, do you have a ranger? Do you have a rogue? If you don't, you're kind of screwed. And admittedly, a good DM will, for the most part, avoid those things. You know, if a party doesn't have a rogue, he's not going to just start whipping traps at you. Because that's a bad design. You're punishing your players for wanting to play the way they want. And the only time I say punish players for playing the way they want is if they're playing stupid. You know, I'm going to push my teammate into the acid for fun. No, don't do that. You're going to suffer for that. But also, those are times where you sit down and you talk to the person. You'd be like, hey, what the hell are you doing? This goofy BS isn't fun for everyone else. Or, I had a player become a prostitute. That was interesting. I was trying to lead it into this cool campaign about, from the Elder Evils book, Atropos. This, like, beheaded monster god that his head floats through space, just wiping out creation. And the wizard became a hooker. I'm like, oh, this is a situation, I guess. You know, times like that, it's like, what am I doing? I let it slide because it was their first time playing. I wasn't going to be too rough on them. And like I said, first law of role-playing, people want to see the boundaries. But balancing, like, people end up doing total party wipes, and TPKs aren't... It's not your goal. You know, you're supposed to tell a story and let players and their bad luck or incredible stupidity kill them. But that, I'd mentioned it before, but there was an app that showed people playing, and it ended up being, like, most players who use the app got to not even, like, level 5. They'd do a session or two, and then just nobody ever got together, or everybody just kind of quit. Because it is a lot of work. To set up your own custom stuff, it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to learn map making, because I want to run a sci-fi campaign, and it is just so tedious. But it is a skill I want to learn, because you can also just sell map packs online. Like, people do that, and I was like, oh, neat, if I can make enough of these, I can just start slinging these. Make a couple bucks on the side. Admittedly, some of these people are, like, professional graphic designers, and they're kind of battling uphill against those people. And you gotta figure out, you know, there's a line between undercutting and just kind of being a douche about it. You know, if you're selling a lower quality product, you can sell it cheaper, but if you're just like, that guy's selling his high quality things for $20, I'm gonna sell my 20 maps for $3. It's like, you're, one, undervaluing yourself, two, you are just severely undercutting, and that can actually hurt markets. Because then if you start selling well, then other people are going to be like, oh man, I guess I have to sell dirt cheap too, and then everybody just keeps going further and further down. That's how it is with some of the digital artist stuff. I've got friends who do that for a living, and you'll see people who are like, hey, I'm going to do a full body, fully painted thing for like $20. And everybody's just like, dude, how the hell are you charging $20? I've seen people who charge $100+, and they still get a good amount of people. And that's always a concern, you know. Don't undercut people. It's bad. You know, you can go under by like a couple bucks, but I've seen people get a little too eager. Yay! There wasn't a chest. Oh well. I don't even know if I got a lot of good gear out of that. I think I got a level 3 key, which is cool. And a level up, so it panned out. No. I mean, burning on heat skill hit, heat damage bonus, effectiveness of vulnerability debuffs, chance to shotgun burning skill hit. That's the problem, is I don't... No, that should work. I have to actually check. No, we'll do a quick check here, because... Okay, yeah, so it is a heat ability with fire, or with burning. So that would actually do double effects. So that one... No, not that one. That one is actually pretty good. Except the assault skill bonus is trash. If I could move the loot quality over, yeah, that'd be actually really great. Because the effectiveness of vulnerability debuffs applies everywhere. You know, we'll actually see if we can reroll that. What do we got? Modify. 9 integrity, cool. Please don't screw me over. Single target skills. Fleshbane. No, not surrounded. Burning skill effects. A case can be made. A case can be made. What's the high and low? Oh, and it's on the high end, too. Ugh. See, I could keep trying, but I could sit here and burn all my integrity and get nothing. It's also, I mean, it's only 30 grand, so it's not too bad. But it's the high end, because that'd be really... But if I reroll, or if I respec out of heat, this is completely useless. Counterpoint. Shotgun burning skill hit is a debuff. If I can get enough things going... You know what, we're actually going to leave it. I might use that. There's value in that one. That one's just crap. No, I'm just going to start going through these and mulching them as we're sitting here. No, not doing Berserk. I heard Berserk actually got started up again by, like, the guys who took up after Kentaro Miura. I'll have to see about that and read it. Okay, now we actually have to compare, because that's... The loot quality loss sucks, but... The damage taken to shield is gain as HP, and the extra shield, but I'm replacing my existing shield with shield, so it's moot there. Pass. Because it relies on me having shields up. No. Oh, I'm still way behind on that. As it stands, that's still good. When in enraged state... Yeah, I have enraged tokens, right? Yeah, okay. See. But it's that stupid 5-meter fear. Never mind. Everything else is decent. The medical box is kind of pointless. Yeah, that's not worth it either. Damage bonus for bleeding effects. But that's relying on building the shockwave, add warp. I don't need warp vulnerability on warp damage hit because I have one thing that does warp damage and I already have that equipped. So that's moot. Okay, so that could have gone better, but, I mean, like I always say, loot is loot. I'll mulch these off screen. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.